Eric once spoke with us in the past. He's from California. He really came far to you.
Yeah, I'm born in Brooklyn, and Brooklyn is my favorite place in the world. I don't say that lightly. When my grandparents, rest his soul, were alive, the corner of Neptune and West 5th by Coney Island, okay, literally, I'd say about 7, 8 years after they died, I could still go to the local Key Food by the park, sit with the 90-year-olds. They wouldn't know my first name, but they'd say things like, you know, your grandmother made the best blintzes in the world, blah, blah, blah. And it's, you know, the mark of a person is that long after they're gone, people are still talking about them. And you'll never read about, you know, my grandparents in history books, but, you know, when I say Brooklyn is my favorite city in the world, you know, I feel like I'm home when I'm here. Now, having said that, living in Los Angeles has turned me into a marshmallow. So, you know, I don't do this weather. I'm on the plane tomorrow. I'm out of here. Okay. A few administrative notes. I had planned to only do 5 minutes, and then when, you know, Glenn told me, blah, 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 I said, okay.
Keep going.
So, all right. A few administrative notes before getting to my semi-disjointed remarks. Okay, I'm not going to do what I did to a tea party group in Los Angeles. I think I gave them heart failure. Yeah, they do. And what happened is I started out by saying, look, this is LA, you guys all know me, it's kickback. Let me take my jacket off before I give my speech. They said, okay, and that's where the similarities end today. And then I said, look, this is LA, it's kickback, it's informal. Before I give my remarks, let me kick my sneaks off. They said, well, that's a little strange, but okay, fine. So I did, we were in a restaurant. I said, look, before I give my remarks, and this is why I always have a podium, I said, I want to be comfortable before I give my speech. Hope you guys don't mind. I want to take my trousers off. They said, well, this guy lost his mind, what's he doing? And I didn't see what the big deal was, because what man wouldn't take his pants off in front of a room full of conservatives when he's modeling Duck Dynasty pajamas? Now, and by the way, before you ever do that joke, you better make sure the pajamas are there. Now, but what I told the room was, look, I said, I took the jacket off, I took the sneaks off, I took the pants off. I said, I'm here to talk about the left. So what I need you guys to do today is take the gloves off, okay? None of this nice politeness, all right? They're already planning 2016. Take the gloves off. Now, a couple other administrative notes. Okay, this is not an LA-based fashion statement. I recently had LASIK eye surgery. It was one of the best things I ever did. I can see everything crystal clearly now. So the question then becomes, what do you call somebody named Eric who can see everything crystal clearly? And the answer is you don't call him Attorney General.
Very good, very good.
And if President Obama wants to reduce the level of gun violence in America, I have some advice for him. Sir, please tell your Attorney General to stop gun running.
That's right.
And if I hear one more time guns and schools and death and the only solution is an outright ban, I'm going to say, yeah, you know what, you're right, outright ban. Let's just shut down the public schools. Now,
Yes, that's right.
a couple other administrative notes, a couple things I'm very proud of. First, a couple Middle East notes. I want to praise John Kerry, which I rarely do, but John Kerry did something even Ronald Reagan couldn't do. When John Kerry was in the Middle East, he united the Israelis and the Palestinians, who both got together and said, do you know why he's here? What's he doing here? Well, tell him to leave. We thought he was from your side of the family. How do we get him out of here? Tell him there's every brie cheese in Paris, he'll be on the next plane. Now, another thing, Fred Thompson will be taking an emergency trip to the Middle East. Once the Palestinians rebuild their home, they will all be eligible for reverse mortgages. I want to brag, I was one of the first 6 people who got through to the Obama exchange on the very first day. That's a source of pride with me. I got through. I said, hello, is this the Obama exchange? They said, yes. I said, I'd like to exchange Obama for a good president. I got the message in the mail, declined. And, you know, they threaten to shut down on the left every few months just so that they have something to talk about. And I know that the last one affected you guys all so very deeply. So let me tell you how the government shutdown affected me. As I explained it around the country. The government shutdown is like my ex-girlfriend threatening to give me the silent treatment while I'm watching football. You know, the government shut down. You know what? It was not a government shutdown. It's like the French going on strike. How can you tell? And by the way, if anybody says it was too soon, no. I've never liked them. Yeah, I'm going to go after them today. They still suck. They always will. Now, I'm not giving them a free pass. Now, by bottom line is that it was not a government shutdown, it was an executive branch shutdown. Barack Obama took his marbles, shut down his own branch of the government, which left me confused, because if it was an executive branch shutdown, and it was his executive branch, and he shut it down, why was he on TV talking every day? By the time it was over, I didn't care about a government shutdown, I just wanted the government to shut up.
That's right. There you go. There you go.
And I've got an advanced copy of his State of the Useless remark, okay? Blah, blah, look for the teleprompter, blah, okay? That's his final speech. Now, I want to say, for those of you who are here for the meeting of the Zionist Crusader Alliance for World Domination, I happen to be Jewish myself, that one is at halftime of the second football game. Now, for those of you who belong to the Bilderbergers and the Illuminati and the Trilateral Commission, okay, they meet on Tuesdays, so I'm sorry for the confusion. And by the way, I know some of you have heard there's a Jewish global conspiracy, okay, yeah, we're so incredibly brilliant. Here's what we planned, okay? We found out that Bill Gates is not Jewish, Paul Allen is not Jewish, okay, Warren Buffett is not Jewish, Goldman Sachs, okay, we're supposed to be good with money. Let me tell you, John Corzine is not good with money, and he's not Jewish. Hank Paulson's not Jewish. So I turned to my friends, I said, I realize what the Jewish financial conspiracy is. A bunch of non-Jews took all our money, we're never going to get it back. And Glenn's not going to like this, I found out that if you take the word Zionist and you rearrange the letters, it spells Stizoni, okay? So it could be a global Italian conspiracy. Because think about it, they call it the Lombardi Trophy, okay? So, you know, and
It doesn't exist.
well, okay, fair enough. And who did Nicolas Sarkozy get married to? Carla Bruni. Okay, so I'm going to investigate this conspiracy later. Now, enough nonsense, okay? Let me tell you, as somebody who lives in Los Angeles among a bunch of left-wing basket cases, it is an honor and a privilege to be among so many of my fellow gun-toting, Bible-thumping, flag-waving, tax-hating, freedom-loving, patriotic Americans who took back this country and a few months ago ripped that gavel out of Harry Reid's cold, arthritic hands. And I'm going to say something nice about Harry Reid, because he does a fantastic job as the lead character in Weekend at Bernie's. Now, I go around the country because our freedoms are under assault, and it starts at the top. And I have a message for the president. None of us care if Barack Obama is light-skinned or dark-skinned. We've never cared. The problem we have with the president is that he and his supporters are thin-skinned.
There you go.
They treat any criticism like an act of war, the only time they understand war, Benghazi, and then they tell us to go along to get along, be bipartisan. Now, when a liberal tells a conservative, be bipartisan, what that liberal is really telling the conservative is, shut up and agree with me. Well, if the left would like bipartisanship, I've got some ways we can be bipartisan and we'll all get along just fine. First, let's compromise on the issue of gun control. And somebody like, what did that hippie with the long hair from the People's Republic of Los Angeles just say? Yeah, let's compromise on gun control. Here's how it works. Liberals favor gun control, conservatives are against it. Well, let's be bipartisan. Let's simply take away all the guns from the liberals and give them to us.
That's it. There you go.
That way, if there's ever a conflict like Election 2000 that cannot be resolved peaceably, we will win because we will have all the guns. Let's compromise on taxes. Left favors higher taxes, the right lower taxes. Well, if the left likes socialism and wealth redistribution so much, fine by me. Let's simply take the money from them and give it to us. Now, if they try to stop us, remember my first bullet point, we will have all the guns. Let's compromise on energy. If liberals hate oil and coal so much, let's simply ban liberals from using oil and coal and force them to live in mud huts powered by wind from Barack Obama and Joe Biden's speeches.
There you go.
Now, I normally stay out of social issues because it tends to divide good conservatives, but I wanted to have a little fun. So I asked Rick Santorum and Jim DeMint the same question at separate events in South Carolina during 2012 presidential fever because everybody knows where they stand on social issues. I asked Rick Santorum and Jim DeMint separately, Senator, would you still be willing to be pro-life if you knew that modern medical technology would show that the child would grow up to be defective ideologically like Nancy Pelosi? Rick Santorum needed a minute to collect himself and then said, I believe there's hope for every child. But Jim DeMint looked at me and said, "Well, that's a hard choice." He's no longer in the Senate. I think I accidentally got him fired. That's why I stay out of social issues. Because the left just goes crazy, even when I don't talk about it. I had one leftist feminist lunatic screaming at me. And finally I said, "Look, I don't care what the Supreme Court says. I understand your passion. But trust me, gay couples cannot have abortions." She looked at me and said, "Why not?" I said, "Because God made it this way." She said, "You Bible-thumping zealot." I said, "Do I have to draw a diagram for you? It's not going to happen." And I think she's now got the Pelosiraptor and Debbie Wasserman Schultz sponsoring legislation. I am tired of the Pelosiraptor. I am tired of Debbie Wasserman Schultz. Debbie Wasserman Schultz acts like she knows everything. She is Sergeant Schultz from Hogan's Heroes.
There you go.
She knows nothing. And what happens when a flaming leftist lunatic like Debbie Wasserman gets married to a Nazi like Sergeant Schultz? They produce an angry leftist child ranting and raving at the world. Now you know the origins of MSNBC's Ed Schultz.
There you go. There you go.
Again, I don't get involved in social issues, but after the Supreme Court declined to hear the case that paved the way for gay marriage, I saw something in Los Angeles that looked like Sodom and Gomorrah. People were dancing and prancing in the streets, waving their shirts off, going crazy. It was disgusting. I turned to my friends and said, "Are these gay activists?" He said, "No, gay divorce lawyers. They're counting the money." I don't care. Gay, straight. Okay, 50% of them are going to learn the hard way. You leave the cap off the toothpaste, it's over. You know? And again, I try to stay out of social issues, but I just keep getting dragged in. Now, I don't care where you are on the gay marriage spectrum, but I am not going to back down. I want an outright ban on metrosexual marriage. For those of you who don't know what metrosexuals are, they are Phil Donahue-type sissy she-males, also known as beta males, who think that just because Marlo Thomas kicks their hide at home, that every man wants to be emasculated. If these men are allowed to breed, we will have a new generation of sissies, and America will be lost. Okay? And they've united the entire social issue spectrum. The alpha males hate them because they want them to man up and act like guys. The women hate them because nobody respects a mama's boy. And the gays hate them because they unfairly give gays a bad name. So when you have gays marching in solidarity with evangelical Christians, you know that metrosexuals have to go. Now, people say you can't make fun of President Obama. You know, they say he's like actor Will Smith. He's so cool, calm, collected, doesn't get rattled, nothing to make fun of. Well, for those who say we can't make fun of Obama, this is still America. So I say, yes we can, yes we can, yes we can. Yes, we can, yes, we should, yes, we absolutely will, and the message you delivered in 2010 and again in 2014 is, Mr. President, no you can't, no you won't, and no you don't.
There you go.
There is tons to make fun of President Obama. First of all, he's nothing like actor Will Smith. I saw the movies Independence Day and Men in Black. Will Smith secured the borders and took care of the aliens. Let's start out with the obvious. Barack Obama's head and ego are so disproportionate, they should rename the presidential plane Air Force One. And I don't want to say that Barack Obama's a snub, but I look at him and I think, picture what would happen if Jacques Chirac and John Kerry had a baby. Now, you know what? I'm going to take that one back, because there is nothing wrong with being half black, but to say somebody's half French is unforgivable. I don't want the second coming of Jacques Chirac and John Kerry. I'd rather the second coming of Ronald Reagan and Margaret Thatcher. Now, with great conservatives like Sarah Palin and Michelle Bachmann and Nikki Haley and mine, I wrote the book Ideological Bigotry with a couple of follow-ups. Afterwards, I've got books and t-shirts. I recommend the books because they're more expensive. Now, I call it ideological bigotry because I did the research as to why the left hates the right, and they do hate our guts. It is because we exist and we breathe air. That's it. Okay? Take the word Jewish, and by the way, quick tangent, I should have known better driving from South Jersey today just to get here. Let me tell you, as a person who drives long distances all across America, as a Jewish guy, never ever rely on a Palestinian GPS tracker. I took one wrong turn, ended up in a cemetery, and a very scary voice said, "You have reached your final destination." I got so angry, I threw the thing out the window, which was good, because 5 seconds later it exploded. But take the word, you know, and I try to be open-minded. I really do. But when I was driving in Texas, and it's my own fault, I'm closed-minded, when I saw that sign that said Palestine, Texas, I kept the windows up, I did not stop for gas, and the next time I hear them complaining about Gaza, I'm gonna be like, you got land between Houston and Tyler and there's oil there, leave me alone, okay? I don't want to go to Arab Alabama. And I was even scared of being in Cherry Hill, Jersey, because I said, Hezbollah. They said, what do you mean Hezbollah? I said, you're 2 hours away from Lebanon, Pennsylvania. I said, they could launch rockets. Luckily, everything turned out fine. I escaped to New York where it's okay. Now, but take the word Jewish, replace it with the word Republican. Take the words Hamas and Hezbollah, replace it with liberal Democrat. The left are verbal suicide bombers, except less warm and fuzzy. And if you're a minority and a conservative, a Michael Steele, a Sarah Palin, an Eric Cantor, a Herman Cain, a Marco Rubio, a Dr. Benjamin Carson, a Ted Cruz, they will try to destroy you. And they will try to rip you to shreds if you believe in radical Christian notions, such as, I don't know, something dangerous and scary in Christianity, like love thy neighbor. Late at night, I used to be worried about Osama bin Laden wielding a bomb. I was never terribly threatened by Pat Robertson wielding a book. But let me say some nice things about Obama, okay? Because he did capture Osama bin Laden, of course, using Bush and Cheney interrogation techniques. They leave that part out. And by the way, for those of you who did the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge, okay, let me tell you now, Dick Cheney was dumping ice water on people before it was cool. And if anybody has a problem with that, the Catholic Church was doing it longer than everybody. You want to take on the Pope? I certainly don't. It's good enough for Francis, it's good enough for me. Now, bottom line is that I tell these people, the left hates us just because we exist. Ideological bigotry. That's all it is. But I am so glad that we captured and killed bin Laden. I'm so glad that Osama bin Laden is still burning underground with 72 Helen Thomases. Gaddafi was not so lucky. He got stuck with 72 Katie Courics.
Oh, God.
Joy Behar was turned down. Cruel and unusual punishment under the 8th Amendment, even for terrorists. Now, don't fall into the traps that the left is going to set for you. They want you to implode before 2016. Don't say the things that are going to get you in trouble. Number one, do not say that Barack Obama is a Muslim. He can't be a Muslim. It is physically impossible because being a Muslim requires that you worship a higher power than yourself. Barack Obama is a narcissist. His religion is Barack Obama. And call me a racist, call me a conspiracy theorist, I don't care. I am demanding to see Joe Biden's birth certificate. I want proof that he's from planet Earth. I went to the Republican and Democratic conventions. I went to the Democratic convention because I wanted to see them in their natural habitat. And this one deranged guy, he got past the fire chief, he got past the police chief, he got past the Secret Service back when that was more difficult, got past all the security, got past the rope line, somehow made it on stage and grabbed the microphone. And it actually turned out to be Joe Biden. And you remember when the liberals, they had that debate at the Democrat convention whether or not to believe in God?
Yes.
And it was a close vote. I was there. When Joe Biden started speaking, there was not a single atheist in that entire auditorium. They were like, please, God. Oh, please don't mess this up. I've never seen so many liberals clutching for rosary beads that were not there. Even the Jewish liberals were like, give us a cross, we'll do anything. You know? And the Secret Service was like, look, we're here to protect Obama. Hillary, get on deck in case Joe messes this up. And, you know, whether or not Hillary Clinton lives or dies, let's get it out of the way. What difference does it make? Now, I want to tell you, I want to see Joe Biden's birth certificate. I never got involved with Obama's birth certificate, okay? I know what he was trying to keep hidden. This is true, okay? His mother's name is Stanley.
That's right, that's right.
Okay? If my mother's name was Stanley, I wouldn't want anybody to know. You know that he got beat up a lot in school.
First name Stanley.
Okay? Stanley Ann Dunham. Okay? Remember, Stanley Ann Dunham. So when Barack Obama says, if I had a son, it would look like Trayvon Martin. No, if you had a son, it would look like Leonard Dunham. Bottom line is that that's what he was trying to keep hidden. And I know where Barack Obama is born, so we never need to talk about it again. I have the evidence. You heard it here first, okay? Forget Hawaii, forget Kenya. Barack Obama was born in New York In Manhattan, in an IBM laboratory, he's a computer. That is why he lacks human emotion. Only somebody with an Intel chip where their heart should be would leave 4 people to die in Benghazi and not care, or go golfing after people have been beheaded.